Hey everyone, my name is Wedge, and yeah, it's time again for another Best of the Rest episode featuring all the cards and shadows of Innistrad not spoiled individually. If you missed previous episodes, you can start right here with the rest of the white cards. In this video, we're talking black all the time. Hope you enjoy, and if you do, remember to hit that like button, helps out a lot. A Cursed Witch is 4 mana for a 4/2 human shaman. Spells your opponents cast that target the witch costs 1 less to cast. When the witch dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under your control attached to target player. Infectious Curse is an enchant player curse. Spells you cast that target enchanted player costs 1 less to cast. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, this is an awesome surprise. Back in original Innistrad, we had a bunch of curses. They were really cool flavor-wise, and I was surprised to not see any in this set. This one's particularly interesting. Your opponent kills it easy, but if they do, you get a huge benefit for the rest of the game. This is pretty strong and limited. 4 power for 4 mana is great. The flip version is strong for aggressive strategies. I like it a lot. Alms of the Vein is 3 mana for a sorcery with the madness cost of 1 black. Target opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. This is like the last homage to Siege Rhino. In a world of gaining 3 and losing 3, Alms of the Vein is decent. Madness being so cheap is really nice, but the only place you're going to find this card is in a ridiculously aggressive red-black madness deck. Not that it doesn't fit there, because it totally does. We have a real bump in the night situation going on here. Madness makes it appealing, but again, really only for that super aggressive strategy. Don't get trapped by the madness cost. Behind the Scenes is 3 mana for an enchantment. Creatures you control have Skulk. You can also pay 4 of anything and 1 white, and creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. And another commander bomb. Where, you ask? Doran the Siege Tower. Yeah, probably forgot about that guy, right? This enchantment is crazy bonkers. Granting all your creatures Skulk is straight up broken. The Anthem effect is also really nice if they don't block. You can then activate it before damage is dealt. Nice little synergy there. Outside of Doran, you could be looking at a super neat wall deck in Standard with Assault Formation. Rogue Brews for days. Biting Rain is 2 of anything and 2 black for a sorcery with madness costing 3 mana. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Adding another mana to give this thing madness is kind of understandable. It does make it instant speed, which is kinda nice. Beyond that, it's a fine card for limited, just like Flaying Tendrils is a fine card for limited, but not as good as Rising Miasma because Awaken is hilarious. Biting Rain is fine. The only problem is that the strategies most likely to play this card are the ones that will lose the most creatures to it. Irony. Creeping Dread is 4 mana for an enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, each player discards a card. Each opponent who discarded a card that shares a card type with the card you discarded loses 3 life. This is pretty bonkers for commander play with the right commander, or just in a deck with Waste Not. That's awesome. Probably something like a Liliana Heretical Healer situation. Discard sub-themes are fun for you, so enjoy not making friends. Ever After is 4 of anything and 2 black for a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Each of those creatures is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Put Ever After on the bottom of its owner's library. Card is great. Usually you have to spend 5 mana to reanimate one thing. Spending 6 mana to bring 2 back and you tuck the card itself, yeah, that's a bomb. Also, let's be honest, Ever After, marriage, Ever After even brings you back from the dead. That's funny. On Innistrad, your vows really do mean everything. That's scary. From Under the Floorboards is 3 of anything and 2 black for a sorcery with madness costing X and 2 black. Put 3 2/2 zombie tokens onto the battlefield tapped and you gain 3 life. If its madness cost was paid instead, put X of those tokens onto the battlefield and you gain X life. Wow, this card's a limited bomb. 5 mana for 6 power and some life gain, that's already pretty sweet. Being able to madness this, even better. Paying 1 more mana and you get another zombie and another life point. Beyond this card being a flavor powerhouse, it's going to win games. If you can discard it, that madness cost is crazy strong, like Empty the Pits or Army of the Damned, but way more playable. Ghoulcaller's Accomplice is 2 mana for a 2/2 human rogue. You can pay 4 mana and exile it from your graveyard and put a 2/2 black zombie token onto the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. This is going to make the cut in limited every single time. This is a bear with huge upside. Replacing itself with another 2/2 is just fantastic. When you have nothing else to do, you get another creature. At the common rarity, this is more than you can ask for. It's a good card. Ghoul Steed is 5 mana for a 4/4 zombie horse. You can pay 3 mana and discard 2 cards to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I am loving this cycle. It gives you so much flexibility. You either run it out as a 4/4 creature, or you can use it as discard fodder, then just bring it back from the yard. Cards like this and Stitchwing Scab have clear synergies, and if you can make a deck that utilizes those synergies, mainly Strong Madness and Delirium engines, then you're gonna want these a lot. Gisa's Bidding is 2 of anything and 2 black for a sorcery with madness costing 3 mana. Put 2 2/2 black zombie tokens onto the battlefield. This card is incredibly strong. If you can enable madness, you're getting 2 2/2 zombies at instant speed for 3 mana. That's hard to beat, even in a format like Standard. Use something like a Baby Jace to discard them on turn 3, and boom, all the creatures. I'm not saying that's a top tier synergy or anything, but Moan of the Unhallowed was great the first time around. This doesn't have flashback, but I promise it's good again. Grotesque Mutation is 2 mana for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains lifelink until end of turn. I want to talk about the card, but that art is, oh, that's so gross. I might vomit. That's seriously disgusting. Ugh. Kindly Stranger is 3 mana for a 2/3 human. If you have Delirium, you can pay 3 mana and transform it into Demon-Possessed Witch, a 4/3 human shaman. When this creature transforms into the witch, you may destroy target creature. Even if Delirium is difficult to enable, this creature is perfectly fine. A 2/3 for 3 is serviceable, and the threat of a kill spell at any moment is gravy. Best part, if you do get Delirium online, you can activate this at instant speed. It's not bad. No wonder she has so many delegates. Zing, topical. Liliana's Indignation is X and 1 black for a sorcery. Put the top X cards of your library into your graveyard. Target player loses 2 life for each creature card put into your graveyard this way. Alright, well, before we look at the card itself, check out that art and flavor text. Quote, "Days ago, you came to my door asking for help, Jace, yet now here you are with accusations." Oh boy, something isn't going well in the Beleren household. Only a matter of time, really. Plus, is that the Chain Veil? Oh, crap, this is bad. Anywho, the card is decent and limited. If you can mill a bunch of creatures, that's a huge life loss for your opponent. Even if you don't, this basically auto-enables Delirium. Kind of doing what you want on all fronts. I'm not 100% sure of this card's power level before playing with it, but as of right now, I like it. It does a lot. Morkrut Necropod is 6 mana for a 7/7 slug horror with menace. Whenever it attacks or blocks, sacrifice another creature or land. Don't let the sacrifice clause turn you away. This is a 7/7 with menace. It's going to force your opponent to play a removal spell, sacrifice 2 creatures, or take 7 to the dome. That's well worth sacrificing a land or maybe a spirit or a zombie, anything really, probably a land though. Once you're at 6 mana, unless you're going real high on your curve, you can afford to sack a land or 2. Necropod is good. Get this with the Gitrog monster and we can have a crazy slug, frog, horror strategy. It's disgusting, but cool. Murderous Brine Kibbler is 2 mana for a sorcery with madness costing 2 mana. Destroy target tapped creature. This is a strict upgrade to Assassinate. Did not think I'd see that. The card's crazy strong, and you can madness it to make it instant speed. That's gross, super gross. There are going to be so many of these in Limited. Can't believe it's a common at that cost. That's crazy. Pale Rider of Trostad is 2 mana for a 3/3 spirit with Skulk. When it enters the battlefield, discard a card. Maybe not the best turn 2 play in the world unless, of course, you're discarding your Ghoul Steed, which is just so much value. But yeah, not the absolute best turn 2 play. But a 3/3 early is hard to beat. Of course, this probably has additional value when you can use the Madness trigger with it, probably on turn 3 or 4, which makes its 3/3 body a bit more fair. I like the card, solid inclusion in pretty much any deck that has either serious Madness cards or graveyard shenanigans, so, well, all of them, I guess. If you aren't doing one of those 2 things, I think you accidentally drafted Oath of the Gatewatch again, whoops. Rancid Rats is 2 mana for a 1/1 zombie rat with Skulk and Death Touch. I don't actually care that this card has Skulk, I don't. I'm not going to attack with this ever. Death Touch rats make the best blockers, and that's all this is going to be. It's disgusting vermin. Sanitarium Skeleton is 1 black mana for a 1/2 skeleton. You can pay 3 mana and return it from your graveyard to your hand. This is a perfect filler card for a Madness deck. Keep discarding it, keep getting it back. It also makes for a nice chump blocker. It isn't reassembling a skeleton, but come on, what is nowadays? Fine limited card, recursion to the hand to fuel madness is 10 out of 10. Stallion of Ashmouth is 4 mana for a 3/3 Nightmare Horse. You can pay 2 mana and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn if you have Delirium. Not the most exciting card ever. I suppose it could sneak into your deck as a 3/3 for 4 isn't the worst, and if you can enable Delirium, you can make it pretty buff. But let's talk about what we're all thinking here. Look at that art. Is that a 5th leg in the back? What? What is happening on Innistrad? This is crazy. Throttle is back. The card is amazing. It's a limited powerhouse forever. It's instant speed. Makes it awesome. Take these early. Yay. We finally made it to the end of the rest of the black cards and shadows over Innistrad. I don't know about you, but this color looks strong. It has some quality creatures, great removal spells, awesome madness enablers. It's got everything. Who knew black would be such a good color on Innistrad? Wow, crazy. Anywho, let me know what you think about black. Is it better than blue and white? Gotta know what you think. Remember to tune in the rest of the week for more Best of the Rest videos, our pre-release guide, and some post-rotation deck techs. Oh my. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Shadows over Innistrad spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. We're looking at another sweet post-rotation card today. Liliana, Heretical Healer, flips into the Defiant Necromancer and Madness is enabled. It's good stuff. The card is obviously powerful. If you're interested in picking up Liliana, you can do so right now for around $16. That's as cheap as she's been in a long time. Not saying she's super cheap or anything, but for her power, this is a decent price. It's the more you know.